Good morning, everyone. My name is Ariana.
My name is Mason.
My name is Galileo.
My name is Jeffrey.
And this is our topic on the Spanish-American War. Some background knowledge is the Spanish-American War was a conflict between Spain and America in 1898. It ended Spanish colonial rule in America, which lasted 406 years, from 1492 to 1898. It ultimately ended in the acquisition of U.S. territories in Latin America.
So the causes of this tension was that Cuba struggled for independence from Spain, which created tension that caused America to gain sympathy for Cuba. And the yellow journalism exaggerated Spanish brutality in Cuba, which influenced the American public's opinion of Spain. And the sinking of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor in 1898, blamed on Spain, sparked public outrage. And so the effects consisted of the end of the Spanish Empire, which was marked the final collapse of Spain's colonial holdings in the Americas and Asia. And the U.S. defeated Spain and emerged as a world power. So then the U.S. gained territories, including Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. And so Cuba gained independence, but the U.S. maintained influence through the Platt Amendment. And so this increased American military presence and involvement in global affairs. And the beginning of American imperialism was marked by the expansion of U.S. control beyond its borders.
For the pros of the war, at the end of the war, the United States ended up emerging as a world superpower. It also allowed, because of the different territories that they got through the war, it allowed for the different pursuit of investments in different industries. Cuba became safe again, allowing for large investment in mining and sugar. When Hawaii became a territory later in that same year, it allowed companies to stop paying tariffs. U.S. revived the sugar industry in Puerto Rico and expanded tobacco there. The investments in Philippines brought railroads, mining, and sugar. Secondly, they provided territorial and strategic gains to the United States through the acquisition of the Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. It boosted the support of a stronger Navy. And finally, it was framed to support Cuban independence. The cons. There was a huge cost with the war, fighting with Spain and Filipino guerrillas. It cost the United States a total of $400 million. In total, 9,600 casualties were created, 5,400 with fighting with Spain, and 4,200 fighting with Filipino guerrillas. Naval spending increased, and it stimulated the ship economy, but diverted investment and funds in other areas, and it sparked anti-imperialist sentiment in the United States. It essentially made people question, do we have the right to govern distant land and people?
So, in conclusion, the Spanish-American War sparked many pros and cons within all the countries involved in the war. The U.S. lost $400 million to gain support for the war, but revived the sugar industry in Puerto Rico. Cuba gained independence and a new way to make money from investments. Hawaii's territory stopped tariffs and brought investors. So pretty much in the end, the countries involved lost and gained a lot from this war. Sources we used was history, state.gov, schoolweb.com, and then we used the history book provider.
Thank you.
Thank you.